How was the scene in Wrigley last night?
Well, it was multi-layered, I'll tell you that, because the day started out, I left for the field, and it was 70 degrees, and the thought was, I know it went through a lot of people's minds, should we wear shorts or not? And by the time the game started, it was 41 degrees, the wind chill of 36. And right before that, some stuff had come down. It almost looked like snow. It was sleet or hail or something, and the sky had turned just coal black, before like about 6 o'clock. So anyway, by the end of the game, which went on forever. It's a good thing you guys are on the West Coast because it ended about 12:40 this time, I think, and there's hardly anybody left in the park. But it was very joyous before that. For the start of the game, even though the weather was awful, 2-hour rain delay, almost 2 hours. It was pretty cool raising the banner. And they raised, I was in the dugout before with Fergie Jenkins and Billy Williams and Ryan Sandberg, and I didn't know why they were there. I know all those guys were just kind of chatting, and they were the ones that hoisted all the flags, the pennants, and then Anthony Rizzo raised the 2016 one out in the outfield and center field by the big green scoreboard. So that was really nice.
And what did it mean? What does this mean to Ferguson Jenkins, Billy Williams, Ryan Sandberg, all-time Cubs greats who wanted to provide this moment that we're watching on the television screen that went down in Wrigley Field last night? What does it mean to those old school guys?
I asked those guys, and I asked them specifically, and they're very happy. It's deep inside, it's a little bittersweet because they all had teams that, might have been good enough. Certainly the 1969 Cubs were with Fergie and Billy and that. And I asked Billy Williams what it would have meant to Ron Santo. And he said, Rick, when I saw Rizzo make that catch last year to end the World Series in Cleveland, the final one to throw from from Bryant on third base, he said, my first thoughts were of Santo and Ernie Banks, and neither one of them lived to see it. And he said, they would have just been out of their minds with joy, because it also is a burden off their backs too. Everything, all the talk with the Cubs, my entire sports watching and writing career spanning, over 50 years has been, now it's 70 years they have won the World Series. Now it's 80, now it's 90, now it's 100, now it's 108. Black Cats, Goats, Steve Bartman, everything. And suddenly it's all gone. And there's an entire personality shift with the Cubs, 180 degrees. It goes from, lovable losers, which is long gone, to just losers, kind of heartbreaking losers, to champions with a big target on their back. And, we're beginning to think, well, maybe everybody in the world doesn't love the Cubs, although a whole heck of a lot of people do. But I'm sure the Cardinals fans don't. I'm sure the Dodgers fans don't. I guarantee you they don't. During, before the game, they were showing the game against the Dodgers last year in the playoffs, in which Scherzer lost, and Scherzer is there watching the game. So it's everybody's going to have to get used to it. The Cubs are wearing jerseys with gold lettering, gold names on them. We're the champs. They came into the field from out in center field with Rizzo in front of the team, holding the championship trophy above his head. Almost like coming through the corn and Field of Dreams. Mm-hmm. And it was really a wonderful sight. But now you got to think, okay, what does this mean? What do we do now?
Yeah, I know, and that's interesting with Rick Telander, Chicago Sun-Times. That was going to be my next question for you. So when does it go from let's play to and having that as, on their sleeve, and obviously what Ernie Banks represented for this team means a great deal, but he was part of the era where they tried and it didn't go. When does it turn from let's play to let's win 2 in a row, Rick? When does that happen?
Right, I think it's turned right now. And one thing about this team is it's young, and it might be right in kind of the sweet spot for about a 3 to 4 year run. With some tinkering here and there before anybody can even be remotely called old. Most of the guys are in their early to late 20s right now. And, Anthony Rizzo is 27, 28? I'm not sure. Brian Schwarber, these guys are young. Albert Almora, Baez. So, and Wilson Contreras, who had a couple of great plays as catcher last time. What an athletic catcher is, what a difference it makes to have a guy who can get out there, especially with John Lester pitching. You know, there's a huge flaw. Lester cannot field anything off the mound. He can't. He can't throw to first base. He'll throw a dribbler over there. So the catcher has to go and get everything, all the bunts, all the, anything that even heads toward the mound. So they've got these guys kind of right in their sweet spot. And winning this year, obviously it takes a lot of luck, but they have to be the favorites, and they should be the favorites next year. Arrieta looks dominant. I mean, we haven't seen everybody. I haven't gotten a full sense of the team yet, but nothing has changed. They're good. And, like I said, the target's on their back.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.